How do you identify personally and in engineering contexts?
Mental health-wise, I don't have anything diagnosed. I think I'm doing as well as other college students are. It's college time and it's stressful, but it's fine. Usually, the classes in the university go at a really fast pace, and the university has an issue with mental health. I think a lot of people here were overachievers in high school, and then when you come to the university and you start struggling, and I'm sure that can really mess with an identity of who you thought you were. However, one time that was kind of affecting things was during COVID. My sister has mental and physical disabilities. So when I was home, I had to help her with some of her classes while still maintaining my own. And that was frustrating because, professors really don't slow down for much. But I didn't have enough of the situation I felt in which I could ask for really special treatment or accommodation. Also, I don't want to sound like I would be using my sister as an excuse or anything. That feels weird. Yeah, so it's not like professors are ignoring my situation specifically, because I did not ask for any time or anything, but they don't really leave wiggle room for it if you're in any situation that might not be dean excusal level, but it still makes things harder for you. Also, I've heard dean excusals can be a little strict, so I wasn't about to try and go through that process. So these additional obligations are not really seen by professors, but are there, and they affect my schoolwork. They don't leave room for things like that, and then it ends up I'm home and I'm trying to help my sister with her classes, and still having 3 exams in one day.
What's one thing you would change about engineering education if you could?
If I could change one thing about engineering education, it would be considering academics above everything and not valuing mental health. Most professors will be care about your mental health and get some sleep, make sure you eat something healthy, go eat food or something. And then you're I have 4 exams, can I turn in my homework late next week? And they go, yeah, if you want a percentage off. But that really varies per person. There are some wonderful professors who will make adjustments. I had one who would check for big events like capstone or other major finals that were happening, and he tried to schedule around them for as many people as he could. He adjusted it so it would be less stressful for as many people as he could accommodate. I have another professor who's I know midterms are super busy, so, we have exams this week. I'm not going to assign you anything for the next week, right? Some professors have flexible attendance policies or allow one dropped quiz. That helps everyone relax a bit more. But there are always the other ones who talk and then do nothing. I had a physiology professor who taught us about the health effects of chronic stress and how it can hurt you, then proceeded to have an exam scheduled for the first day back from Thanksgiving break. And everyone's hey, we really need this break. Would you mind moving it? And they gave us a straight no. So it definitely feels like a priority on academics at my school. I mean, it's so easy to fall behind because they give so much work that it feels like you have to prioritize academics no matter what. They say they care about mental health, but then they don't make any adjustments even if you ask. And it's stuff like that Thanksgiving break situation, all that talk about care for mental health just kind of feels like empty words.
What would you tell your professors about this if given the chance?
As I mentioned earlier, the university has an issue with mental health, and we used to have a really limited amount of counselors. I've heard they've been trying to improve it. However, during COVID, there was no spring break, and everyone was super stressed. So the university closed all the rooftops so that people wouldn't jump off of them. So instead of addressing the issue, which was that, you're not giving us any time to recover or any ways to have time to manage our stress, really relax, they just tried to close the rooftops. And it didn't really help because there were still a few people who tried to jump out of high places that just weren't as high as the rooftop that was closed. So that's not a good solution. You're not fixing the root cause. You're just trying to sort of address one of the symptoms. Universities can be doing a lot more to at least try, like closing a rooftop and saying we care about you isn't going to fix it. But maybe working on a more forgiving late policy might help. And that way, if someone's having something going on but isn't willing to talk about it, then at least they have a little cushion built in. I would just tell my professors about the other professors who have some of those forgiving class policies worked into their schedules that have helped make it easier for students. So, academic issues like mental health and academics above everything, I think, are some things that can be fixed.